Now, let's talk to some of the better minds. Journalist and political commentator Scotty Nell Hughes, conservative political strategist Rena Shah, former national co-chair of the Bernie Sanders 2020 presidential campaign Nina Turner, and one-time GOP candidate for Congress Jeremy Hunt. It's good to have each and all. Jeremy, I start with you. First of all, does everybody agree with me that we should not punish speech, that you should be able to say whatever you want to say about a judge, about the courts? Everybody agree? We're all on the same page? I get a big amen? Good.
I'll give you an amen on that. Absolutely.
Scotty hates agreeing with me. Look at her. She doesn't want to do it. Look, she's fighting. She's fighting. You know you agree, Scotty. Give it to me. There it is. All right. Now, let's go to where we disagree. When it comes to the economy, Jeremy, you guys keep complaining about Harris not giving details. She was more detailed there than Trump was in his latest offering. Why is he better for workers in the economy?
Well, I mean, first off, I don't think that Harris is somehow, giving a lot of detail about what her beliefs on the economy. I mean, if you talk to her, she just begins with well, I'm from a middle-class family. I mean, that's just totally unhelpful. I am more encouraged by some things that we've seen. President Trump, for example, just recently was talking about his concerns about China buying up American farmland, and they're controlling the agricultural supply line. He's talking about how that's important for food security and things like that. He's talked about going back to where we were in the during the Trump administration. I mean, my grocery bill was not as expensive as it was today when I just went up to the store to Publix. I mean, it's a real. I mean, I think what people are seeing are real lived experiences from 2016 to 2020, and the difference is now, after 4 years of Biden-Harris, you don't even have to get into the weeds for people to know what they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so let me bounce over to Nina. Nina, is it a double mistake by your party? One, not telling the story of inflation and what has happened around the world since the pandemic and how America has recovered relatively compared to everybody else, them not making the case. And two, are you better off than 4 years ago? If that remains the standard that Ronald Reagan launched, is that enough to beat the Democrats? What's your take on those two?
And you have to acknowledge it, Chris. I mean, I'm in it, but not of it. I tell the truth about my party, the Republican Party, and the state of politics in this country that is really leaving the working poor middle class behind. You have to acknowledge the pain. You just can't simply pretend just because you are in a position of being the vice president that everything is okay. And that is the fine line that VP Harris has to walk. And it is a unique line to walk, to be both the nominee, but also not trying to go ham on the person that you serve with in President Biden. It is important to acknowledge that pain. So when I look at things like NAFTA, I mean, when President Trump says, we're going to go back and get the jobs that they stole, well, President Trump needs to acknowledge that other countries did not steal these jobs. It is the multinational corporations that exploit other people's poor workers. And so what is the level of patriotism that American corporations must have to the American people? States like mine, Chris, NAFTA decimated the state of Ohio, which is probably why in 2016, or the working class, I should say, probably why in 2016, Ohio did not go for another Clinton because they remember NAFTA. But Vice President Harris has to take this further, Chris. There is a wealth tax that needs to be talked about. Senator Warren put out one. Over 60% of the American people across the board supported a 2-cent tax on the ultra wealthy. And this is not me saying that I am against wealth. Wealth is indeed a beautiful thing. That's why I believe we should have Medicare for all that would deal with the majority of the bankruptcies that happen in this country. But we have to deal with excessive greed and the impact that has on everyday Americans in this country. And what is our demand for corporations to show a level of patriotism to this country and not to cheat and rob and steal from the workers here and then exploit workers from other countries? So I want to see Vice President Harris take on Senator Warren's wealth tax on top of some other policy positions.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.